Today, we're unraveling the dramatic events that have unfolded in Bangladesh over the past 48 hours. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's sudden resignation in flight, amidst massive protests and military intervention, have thrown the nation into chaos. What led to this unprecedented situation? How did things spiral out of control? And what does the future hold for Bangladesh? Stay tuned as we delve into these questions and more. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more detailed analyses of global events. What's the issue in Bangladesh? Bangladesh, a country known for its vibrant culture and rapid economic progress, is now gripped by a severe political crisis. The nation has been plunged into uncertainty following extraordinary street protests demanding reforms in the government's job quota system. The unrest has escalated to a point where Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has resigned and fled the country. The crisis began with widespread discontent over a controversial quota system that reserved 30% of public sector jobs for the families of veterans who fought in the 1971 Liberation War. This system, intended to honor those who contributed to Bangladesh's independence, has been criticized for being unfair and discriminatory. Critics argue that it disproportionately benefits political loyalists and entrenches power within the ruling Awami League. The protests against the quota system have turned into a broader movement against the government's perceived authoritarian practices and corruption. More than 400 people have been killed in the unrest, and the situation has escalated to a point where the military has intervened. Why are students protesting? The catalyst for the current crisis was the student quota protest that began earlier this year. Students across Bangladesh have been demanding reforms to the job quota system, arguing that it unfairly benefits the ruling party supporters and does not serve the public interest. The protest initially focused on the need for a more equitable job allocation system, but soon evolved into a larger movement against what many perceive as systemic corruption and mismanagement by the government. The demonstrators have been calling for the resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, citing her administration's alleged authoritarianism and suppression of dissent. The government's response to the protests has been harsh, with reports of police violence, arrests of protest leaders, and severe restrictions on freedom of expression. This heavy-handed approach has only fueled the students' and public's frustration, leading to further escalation of the unrest. Why did Sheikh Hasina resign? On August 5, 2024, Sheikh Hasina's resignation came as a shock to many. The immediate cause for her resignation was the immense pressure from both the public and political adversaries. The protests had reached a critical level, and more than 400 people had lost their lives in the violence. The situation became untenable for Hasina, who faced the real possibility of a military coup. India's foreign ministry revealed that Hasina decided to resign after a crucial meeting with leaders of the security forces. Following this meeting, Hasina requested permission from New Delhi to seek asylum in India, highlighting the gravity of her predicament. The resignation and subsequent flight were seen as an attempt to escape the escalating crisis and potential violence. How did the military intervene? The military's intervention marked a turning point in the crisis. Historically, Bangladesh has experienced several military coups, but in recent years the military had maintained a non-interventionist stance in politics. However, the current unrest and Hasina's resignation prompted a significant change. On August 5th, the military issued a 35-minute ultimatum to Sheikh Hasina, demanding her resignation. This move was unprecedented and indicated the military's readiness to act decisively in the face of the escalating crisis. Hasina's decision to flee was influenced by this military pressure, highlighting the military's role in the current political upheaval. Following Hasina's departure, the military has been seen on the streets of Dhaka and other major cities, enforcing curfews and maintaining order. While this intervention helped stabilize the immediate situation, it also raised concerns about the future of democratic governance in Bangladesh. Where did Sheikh Hasina go? After her resignation, Sheikh Hasina sought refuge in India. Reports indicate that she departed Bangladesh on a private jet, heading to an undisclosed location in India. The flight clearance was sought simultaneously by both Bangladeshi authorities and Hasina's team, reflecting the urgency of her departure. Hasina's move to India was seen as a strategic decision to avoid the growing unrest and potential threats to her safety. The decision to seek asylum in a neighboring country underscores the severity of the crisis and the uncertain future facing Bangladesh. The immediate aftermath. The hours following Hasina's departure have been marked by chaos and uncertainty. Protests have continued, with thousands of people taking to the streets to demand accountability and a return to democratic governance. The opposition parties, including the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, and Jamaat-e-Islami, have called for immediate elections and the formation of an interim government. The military's presence and the imposition of curfews have created an atmosphere of fear and tension. The international community, including human rights organizations, has expressed deep concern over the potential for further violence and the erosion of democratic norms. The current intervention raises concerns about the future of democracy in Bangladesh. While the military's actions may have prevented immediate violence, they set a dangerous precedent for future military involvement in politics. The long-term implications of this intervention are still uncertain and warrant close monitoring. Economic implications. The political unrest has significant economic implications for Bangladesh. The country, which has been experiencing rapid economic growth, risks substantial setbacks due to the current instability. Foreign investors, crucial to Bangladesh's economic development, may become cautious, potentially withdrawing investments or delaying new projects. The garment industry, a cornerstone of Bangladesh's economy, faces disruptions as protests and strikes impact production. This industry not only provides employment to millions but also generates substantial export revenue. Prolonged instability could lead to job losses and economic downturns. Human rights concerns. The human rights situation in Bangladesh has been a point of contention for years. Under Hasina's rule, there have been numerous reports of extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances, and torture. The current crisis has exacerbated these issues, with increased reports of human rights abuses as the government seeks to maintain control. International human rights organizations have called for an immediate end to the violence and an independent investigation into the allegations against the government. The international community's response will be crucial in addressing these concerns and fostering meaningful change. The international community's response. The international community has been closely monitoring the situation in Bangladesh. Key allies and international bodies, including the United Nations, the United States, and the European Union, have expressed concern over the recent developments. They have called for restraint, dialogue, and respect for democratic principles. Sanctions and diplomatic pressures are potential tools that the international community might use to influence the situation. However, these measures need to be carefully calibrated to avoid exacerbating the suffering of the Bangladeshi people while holding the government accountable. What's next for Bangladesh? The future of Bangladesh is shrouded in uncertainty. Several scenarios could unfold in the coming days and weeks. 1. Return and clarification. Sheikh Hasina could return to address the nation, providing clarity on her sudden departure and outlining a plan to address the current crisis. This could help stabilize the situation and provide a path forward. 2. Continued unrest. If the government continues its hardline approach, the protests and unrest are likely to persist. This could lead to further violence and a deepening political crisis, with potential long-term instability. 3. Military intervention. The military might decide to intervene further, either to support the civilian government or to take control. This would dramatically alter the political landscape and could lead to an uncertain transition period. 4. International mediation. The international community could step in to mediate between the government and opposition, seeking a peaceful resolution to the crisis. This would require significant diplomatic efforts and cooperation from all parties involved. Bangladesh is at a critical crossroads, with Sheikh Hasina's resignation acting as a catalyst for a wider political crisis. The next steps taken by the government, opposition, military, and international community will determine the country's future. The last 48 hours have highlighted the fragility of Bangladesh's political system and the urgent need for dialogue, reform, and respect for democratic principles. Thank you for joining us as we explore this unfolding crisis. Please like, share, and subscribe for more updates and analyses on global events. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you next time.